My topic is about teaching beginning reading using the four-pronged approach, but the four-pronged approach can also be used in teaching communication arts in English and Filipino in the higher grades, not only in the lower grades. So, what are the objectives of a teaching beginning reading using the four-pronged approach? First, it should not only teach children how to decode the printed symbols, the teacher should create the desire to learn to read. So, hindi lang yung objective natin doon is to teach the children how to read, to decode words, but also the desire to learn to read. So that intrinsic motivation will help them to learn the prints faster. So the objectives of teaching beginning reading is number one, the development of genuine love for reading, or yung sinasabi nating GLR. This was discussed in the previous seminars noon, di ba? Maalala ba ninyo, ma'am? Yung GLR, hindi na.
Kaya pala nag-LPS eh. No, joke. Jokingly aside.
Okay, the first is the development of genuine love for reading, or the GLR. The second is the development of critical thinking skills, or the CT, that is for critical thinking. Then number 3 is exposing and mastery of structures in the English language, or the ENSEL. And 4 is the development of independent word attack skills, or the transfer states, or TS. Wala bang nag-alala yung mga yun? Wala na.
Now I know.
So this four-pronged approach, when you say prong, yung parang sa kwan ba, tinidor, na yung merong ganon, di ba? Oh, yun ang prong na sinabi. So the first in the four-pronged approach is developing GLR, or genuine love for reading. So in the beginning lesson, we should make use of a story or a poem to whet children's appetite to read, or to increase their desire to read. The parts of developing the GLR, or genuine love for reading, are the pre-reading activities. Pre-reading. So before we will read the entire selection, we should have these pre-reading activities. So ano yung mga ginagawa natin na mga pre-reading activities natin whenever we teach communication arts? Ano yung una natin ginagawa? Oh, in English or in Filipino. So the first is unlocking of difficult words. So how do we unlock difficult words? Context clues. Yes, using the word in a sentence. Ano? By using pictures, especially if you are teaching in the lower grades, you have to use pictures, or you even use concrete objects, and ano pa? Concrete objects, ano pa yung pag-unlock natin? You can use synonym, White and the Seven Dwarfs. So you ask question, why is the queen? Why is the queen jealous with Snow White? So you are going to provide their choices. Because Snow White is so more beautiful than the queen. Yung parang ganun na. Lagyan mo yun ng options. So that is the difference between dimension ordinary and dimension intensive. Another questioning technique is GPU. Yung tinatawag natin na gradual psychological unfolding. So gradual, what do you think when you say, ano ang ninyo? Ano yung naisip ninyo when you hear the word gradual?
Step by step.
Oo. Yung paano magsimula ka sa simula, then yung next may link na naman sa next. Ganon ang gradual psychological unfolding. It is a sequence in such a way that it is logically unfolds the story from literal to the critical level. So magsimula yan sa literal to the critical level. So those are some of the questioning techniques which we can use during post-reading activities. And post-reading activities include engagement activities. This may be given as group or individual work, pwedeng group work, pwedeng individual work. So, mapping the story, inferring traits and feelings, Then number 2, reading and writing connection. So you can do this by asking the pupil to write a letter, to draw a poster, to write a diary, and other similar activities. Then number 3 is enhancing speaking skills. So what do we usually do if we want to enhance the reading skills of our pupils? Anong ginagawa natin para ma-enhance natin yung reading skill ng pupils? Or yung speaking skill, I should say. Anong ginagawa natin, lalo na pagdating sa language lesson? Ano yung karaniwang ginagawa natin? Ginagawa natin ito, yung dramatization, di ba? And role playing. By using these techniques, we are enhancing the speaking skills of the pupils. Sa Filipino, dula-dulaan, ano? You assign the pupils yung mga characters na dapat nilang i-portray. So first is GLR, second is critical thinking skill, the third prong is the MCEL. So this is usually used in language lessons. MCEL. So the steps in the third prong is presentation lesson. In demonstrate ko dahito idikwa, kaano idi nabayagon na malagit yun. We have a joint seminar noon with the Abulog teachers. Kasama namin noon si Mami at saka si Ma'am Mayra, itong MC. So, itong sa presentation lesson, from the story, you can get there you can prepare a paragraph, wherein kung halimbawa yung skill na i-develop mo in the MCEL is about pronouns, pwede ilagay mo doon. Cinderella is she is blank, blank, blank. So you will be introducing you will be presenting the skill in using pronouns. Or you can also use, kasi ang ginamit ko noon, using adjectives yata. Okay. So target structure is introduced in paragraphs.
Oh.
So there you have the baseline, no? And then it's divided into two by a horizontal line, identifying that everything that should be written on the left side belongs to the subject of the sentence, and on the right side will be part of the predicate. Okay. Okay, so that is a very basic sentence. One subject, one predicate. But we do not want sentences like this coming from them. From this basic sentence, we can improve the sentence by adding yung tinatawag na natin, ma'am, ng adjectives, adverbs, and other parts of speeches to make the sentence more colorful. Supposing, again, you incite the pupils to think, anong tingin mo dun sa nakita mong rainbow? Madilim ba? Maliwanag? Oh yeah, you have mentioned about the word bright. How are we going to add the word bright in our sentence?
Rainbow appears bright.
Bright rainbow appears. Okay, bright rainbow appears. Now, after adding that, ask what is the use of the word bright in the sentence. We know it's an adjective, but an adjective does what? Ganun yun. No? Then they will learn, adjective, nagmo-modify ng noun. Or it modifies, it tells how does the rainbow looks like, right? So it's an adjective. And how are we going to show it in the diagram? To identify that the word bright is an adjective modifying the subject bright. Okay? Yes? Who knows how to do it sa diagram? Sana natapos na kayo mag-merienda and do it. By looking at the diagram alone, ma-identify mo na each word in a sentence. Ano ang gamit ng bawat word na ginamit mo sa sentence mo. It's not enough that you will say, Mother gave me money. Okay, it's common sense na naiintindihan mo. But, alam mo bang gamit ng mother? Alam mo bang gamit ng gave? Then, papasok na naman yung tense ng verb kasi gave it. No? So, it's an integrated, it's an approach in all your correct usages shall be involved in this diagramming exercises, which is very difficult. Okay, to save you the efforts and the pain of finding out where to place yung adjective, any adjective shall be placed below the word it modifies. So what does the word bright modify? It modifies rainbow. So it should be written with a line below rainbow. Gaano kadalas ka nakakakita ng rainbow? You see, from the basic sentence, rainbow appears. You are not trying to make them think. Gaano ka makadalas nakakakita ng rainbow? Any term? Any word? Every time ka ba nakakakita? Sometimes? Okay, sometimes. Or, ano ang better word for them? For sometimes? You can suggest siguro. Ano po ibig sabihin ng often? Often. O kaya frequent